Hey everyone, David here, Director of Songs of War, with a rather unfortunate announcement. As of today, Songs of War Season 2 and 3 are officially cancelled.
Hello everyone, my name is Brett, and today I will be doing my most ambitious video yet. I've decided to take a detailed look at the developments of the fan-made Songs of War Season 2 so far. This video was inspired by Company Man as I took ideas for the type of video I wanted to do from him. Anyways, without further ado, let's discuss the rise, fall, and resurgence of Songs of War Season 2. Part 1. On June 14th, 2020, David R.B., the director of Songs of War, a Minecraft animation series, announced its cancellation publicly and explained why in a roughly 30-minute long video. If you have not watched Songs of War or heard of it before, go check it out. It's a Minecraft animation series based in a world called Ardonia with lots of amazing lore behind it. Please go check it out if you haven't already. After the cancellation, the community surrounding Songs of War was understandably very sad, as the cliffhangers that were left at the end of Season 1 would never be continued officially in animation form. However, the cancellation didn't just bring sadness to its fanbase, as it revitalized the series to its fans in a whole new and unintended way. With the cancellation, the entire series script for Songs of War was released along with all of its assets, which included the world, unreleased voice lines, Blender files, models, unused logos, Sony Vegas project files, and lots more. With all of these new files and the script for Songs of War Seasons 1, 2, and 3, a mission for an obsessed group of fans in the community was quickly thought of. The mission? Create Songs of War Seasons 2 and 3 in its intended form, Minecraft animation. Now yes, this does sound extremely ambitious, and clearly the group did not look at the sheer size and scale of what a project of this scale would take to pull off. Nonetheless, they forged ahead and created a group called SOW Community Union, which later became known as just the SOW Union. This union was created by Goldenbrine, and consisted of roughly 4 main members: Chief, Capitine, Goldenbrine, Arcadian, and later Tazu. Remember those names? We'll get back to them. But hold up, this wasn't the only group of people who thought of the revolutionary idea to make Songs of War Seasons 2 and 3. To my knowledge, at least 2 other groups tried to kickstart this project initially, and that is alongside the Union, which brings the total number of groups trying to kickstart this project up to a grand total of 3. For reference, the name of the 3 discords were SOW Union, Songs of War, and Oakendale Studios. Now, this became a bit of a problem, bigger than I think it would have been in other situations. You see, the audience for Minecraft animations is mostly made up of children. Considering Songs of War is a Minecraft animation, I believe it is relatively safe to assume that the large majority of viewers for Songs of War were children, with an exception for some, as I do know quite a few people that do not fit this assumed demographic that watched Songs of War when it was initially aired. Now, the issue with children is that they can be very impulsive at times and not think things through before they act upon their thoughts or wants. This seems like it was the case with Songs of War. Now that the script was released, it became free reign for anyone who was the fastest to get a group of people together to make it happen. This is what caused there to be 3 different groups, as each group had a director that had a different vision for the project than the next. This caused issues with too many Discord servers being created initially, and there being lots of confusion with fans and people who were willing to help but not knowing where to go. The SOW Union tried to unite the servers into one group at first, but failed due to those confused fans and clashing visions. Part 2. So here we are. The SOW Union has a Discord server for making Songs of War Season 2 and 3, though many are confused as to who is running the project and how it will be made. Enter Tazu. Tazu was the director on another Songs of War project, although I was unable to find any more information on this, and he saw an opportunity in the midst of the chaos unfolding. Tazu decided to make a new Discord called Sandaria Studios as the new home for the main project of animating Songs of War Seasons 2 and 3, hence why on June 15th, Sandaria Studios was created. On the same day this happened though, something else occurred. A user by the name of Pat the Wizard made a group DM with all of the leaders of the different projects regarding Songs of War Seasons 2 and 3. As far as I am aware, Pat was just a passionate fan that wanted to help the project. The goal of this group DM was to try and unite them all under one director and group, not 3. From what I know, at least 10 people were invited to the group DM, with most being staff in the different projects. Surprisingly, everyone in that group DM agreed to merge their communities or discords into one. Sandaria Studios happened to be new and up and coming, which is why it was chosen to be the new home of the projects. Hence why only a patron page remains from other studios such as Oakendale Studios. Though this caused the confusion among fans to become even worse, which didn't help at all. Tazu began doing things that started to be in his own interest more than for the benefit of everyone in the project. He started removing permissions from people that were in the group DM and then leaving the union, which made him director in the first place. This seemed to be because he got a taste of what being the lead of such a big project felt like and wanted to do everything in his power to protect it. This resulted in other people being punished, censored, or banned if they disagreed with Tazu. One person who wanted to rename Anonymous got banned for having an idea, presumably of how to make the project better. Another individual was kicked for saying the Discord server was a mess, and I myself got banned for talking to Tazu in a voice call and trying to understand why he was doing what he was. But we'll get back to that in a bit. As this happened to more and more people, some were fed up with Tazu's attitude and how he was running things. It seemed that Tazu thought everyone trusted him, yet he couldn't bring himself to trust others. As a result, he was reluctant to give people the proper permissions they needed in the Discord for roles such as moderation and giving others their roles after their application had been accepted. According to Pat, Tazu didn't give him permission to give people roles due to him not trusting Pat, which harks back to his trust issues even though Pat was executive producer. This also irritated a lot of the other people in the project, with all of them having various roles. Many people were getting anxious and annoyed with Tazu's lack of moderation and will to trust anybody. This was around the time I got Tazu to join a call with myself and Pat. I talked to Tazu about some things I knew and some that I wanted to know. One of them was that Pat didn't have many permissions. I persuaded him to give Pat permission to give other people roles and to see the audit log. However, right after the call ended, those permissions were revoked, with Tazu claiming he was just changing a few things. It was clear at that point that Tazu had a different mindset than everybody else. He said that he hated drama and wasn't interested in anyone else's point of view or fixing it. He also seemed to think that I was posing myself as a better leader when in fact I said multiple times during the conversation that I did not want to be in such a position and stand true to that statement today. Shortly after the meeting ended, the announcements channel in Sandaria Studios was wiped and cleared, along with the text messages from the group chat that were made by Tazu. A new admin was then brought into Sandaria Studios' Discord, though I could not find the name of this individual. Tazu claimed that he had known this person for years and they were here to help manage the Discord, though in light of Tazu deflecting most criticism and suggestions, he did start to acknowledge other people helping and giving them credit shortly after the conversation, although this admission only happened in private, not publicly. Tazu's need for control also goes way deeper into Sandaria Studios. In the call I had with him, he told me he was making major changes to the story and shrugged it off. As a reason, he told me he wanted to keep some things a surprise, which shouldn't be how a script is written if he had 6 writers, including himself. Granted, they had only been added the day before this call, but that's an awfully large amount of writers for a story that had already been written apart from some relatively minor tweaks. As this was going on, more and more people were coming to dislike Tazu's leadership. All of this was eventually leading up to the fall. Part 3. Enter the Knights of Ardonia. This server was created by a user on Discord named Arcadian Voltaris, but originated from a group DM that had many other people in it. The goal of this server was to serve as an example of what Tazu should make Sandaria Studios into, but quickly turned into a completely new server altogether. The idea was that they would go through a roughly 5-stage plan that consisted of various things to infiltrate Sandaria Studios, gather information, expose Tazu, and move people to the new Knights of Ardonia server. Although they may have had some good intentions, it is clear that the Discord M project was born out of the want for control, which they lacked due to Tazu taking away their permissions. The server never needed to exist in the first place, and the reason it was made was wrong, but it seemed that the people in this union had an ego, and that they had to have control. Also, the way they went about it was extremely aggressive and could have been settled in other ways, I am sure, as at one point one member in the group compared Tazu to Germany in World War II, which is distasteful and an outright horrific thing to say. Alas, things started to go into motion with a few people such as Spy and Pixel, both original animators of Songs of War, agreeing to go to the Knights of Ardonia server with all of the BPS animators who were going to work on it moving over there a few days later. This is when they decided they needed a reliable director, so they decided to have an animator take the helm when Lucha agreed to give it a go. Do note that to make it more balanced though, they would have someone else on the server to keep a better balance between the owner and director. Around this time, the Knights of Ardonia Discord was still not public but was planned to be soon, although something interesting happened when the invite link got leaked and Tazu joined, though he quickly dismissed the server and said that the main one was still Sandaria Studios. Although at this point, word got out about the new server and people started to learn about its existence. The reaction was mixed initially, with some not wanting to move to another server understandably, and others who were either in on the situation or had other reasons were excited. Unfortunately, for the next few hours information is scarce on what exactly happened during this time, though I do know that around this time, roughly, Tazu made a poll in the Sandaria Studios poll channel with quite a strange question. He asked people in the Discord if the Discord icon should be changed to this one from the then current blue one. However, this coincidentally is the same icon that the Knights of Verdonia server has. Part of me doesn't believe that it was a coincidence, as I'm not sure what this would have done in Tazu's favor anyways. Then again, I could just be overlooking this. Going back to Sandaria Studios as a whole though, it seems that roughly a half hour after Tazu discovered KOA, Lukja, the director of the Knights of Verdonia project, became the director in the Sandaria Studios Discord. An agreement appears to have taken place in DMs, which I've gotten information about and will share in a moment. However, after this happened, you could tell that Tazu changed in some capacity with the way he was speaking in chat and the announcements he was making, such as this one a few hours after Lukja became the director, announcing a meeting in the Sandaria Studios Discord. According to Lukja, an agreement was made that took a few days of arguing with Tazu but eventually resulted in him agreeing to step down. However, later on, Tazu blamed him stepping down on being pressured by the Knights of Verdonia server. Although he stepped down, Tazu refused to transfer server ownership, and this coupled with the questionable teamwork and staff resulted in Lukja deciding to move the project over to the Knights of Verdonia server, which is why it was announced hastily. It was at this point when the union, recognizing that there were two directors, decided to give Tazu another chance. Regarding the meeting that Tazu scheduled, he apparently held it a few hours before the scheduled time and started it unannounced. What happened in this meeting, I'm not sure, as none of my sources were in the meeting when it happened. Later that same day, more signs were beginning to surface of Tazu becoming increasingly irritated and even claiming that he was being harassed at one point. Things then proceeded to escalate when Chief, a member who helped create the union, messaged Tazu saying he was sorry and confused. Tazu took a less tame approach when responding and started almost pressuring Chief into telling him what others were saying. Due to both of these events, it was determined that Tazu had used his last chance. As a result, the group wanted to take immediate action and tell people in Sandaria Studios why they were making another Discord server. The reason for the immediate action was because some people were leaving the community because of the current situation. Although, things changed when Tazu made an announcement in the Sandaria Studios Discord that directly addressed this. It seemed Tazu really was being somewhat genuine in the latter half of the post, which was nice to see after some other messages. According to Lukja as well, Tazu also claimed he edited for 5 years prior and had worked on several short films. This only seemed to fire the group up more though. Two small events followed this within an hour, which I thought I'd mention as they might make stuff easier to understand. The first one being that someone started sending pictures of the group messages to Tazu, which made a few people freak out in the group DM. Captain's Discord account also got hacked during this time. Whether this is related to this whole story, I have no idea. However, it does seem quite odd that his account got hacked at this time during these events. And finally, the fall has ended. The following day, Arcanian made it a goal to end this within the next 24 hours in the group chat. Arcanian also made a list of things that everyone in the group DM should do or follow, which I feel were much more reasonable than the previous ones. However, less than an hour later, Tazu announced that he would be stepping down from the director role to pursue other passions. However, this wasn't necessarily true, as according to Lukja, he was forced to quit and him stepping down was the only way he could keep his pride. However, he didn't do it willingly. He then assigned Lukja and the other Black Plasma Studios animators roles, as quote, I think it's only fitting since they made the original. Though he did not fully step down, but instead was staying as a much less active member as producer. But wait, there's more. Roughly 6 hours after he stepped down from director, Tazu made yet another announcement. However, this one would fire people back up again for a different reason. Tazu said in his message that the community we have built will die because it no longer revolves around making Songs of War Season 2. He then proceeded to do something no one saw coming, linking a new Discord server invite. Part 4. The new server was named Sandaria 2 and had clearly only been created minutes beforehand, with it containing no roles in the Discord default server layout. Do note though that the announcement Lukja had made mere hours beforehand was deleted by Tazu right before he announced this new server. Though this also brings up the question of why Tazu thought the community was going to die, now that he was no longer directing it. He very well knew that Lukja and the original Songs of War animators were going to take the project over. He even mentioned it in his previous message. This rushed plea for others to follow him just seemed like a last-minute attempt to keep his fame that he had garnered from directing the project for the roughly 2 weeks he was doing so, as a result of Lukja posting an invite to the Knights of Verdonia server. Though this could have also been Tazu panicking due to Lukja not being online and him jumping to the conclusion that he was going to be kicked out of the Discord soon, resulting in the same outcome, a hastily made Discord server created just to serve the purpose of a place for those who will blindly follow him to gather. However, no one could have predicted what Tazu would do next. While I am unsure of the timing of this event, it likely happened a few hours after the Sandaria 2 Discord was created. Tazu put a few messages in the chat in the new Sandaria 2 Discord, which were bold claims no one saw coming. He claimed that the Knights of Ardonia server was blackmailing him, threatening to SWAT and do other atrocities to him and his family. Before I go on with this part of the story, I feel like I must clarify that since these allegations, no proof has ever been provided by Tazu or anyone who knows him well enough to prove that these were real threats he faced, which is why I highly suggest you take these claims as false, although I am in no position of authority to officially declare otherwise. Tazu also went on a tangent about many things and claimed that Lukja had no prior experience, no board to oversee his actions, and he, quote, has no idea how to manage an actual company/group of people at all, among other things. Tazu also began taking out his anger in the Sandaria 2 server's chats due to the Sandaria Studios Discord being deleted due to the whole production being moved over to the Knights of Ardonia server at that point. He also threatened to ban anyone who came from the Knights of Ardonia server. Along with this, he seemed very adamant that the new production team would fall apart and that when it did, he could pick up the pieces. He also said that, quote, they only want control, but they all want to be in charge. However, in this case, judging by Tazu's reaction, it seems that he was in fact the only one that wanted to control and, quote, to be in charge again, as well as accusing the Knights of Ardonia server as being a, quote, slander campaign. Going back to before the Sandaria 2 server though, Tazu at first wanted ownership back of the Sandaria Studios Discord so he can, quote, make a MX server or something, due to there being a community in there. However, this quickly backfired, with many people saying that it was not his community, but it was a Songs of War community, which is what it was built on. Part 5. As for what happened next, well, details are pretty sparse. However, Tazu did leave the Discord for a few days as I recall, and then ended up returning for about a week to Sandaria 2. During this time though, it seems he gave the Discord to Pat, and then later on ended up deleting his Discord account. As for Sandaria 2 itself, it is mostly a ghost town as of this video, although some are trying to revive it into something else, which is nice to see. As for the Knights of Ardonia Discord, it is currently over 700 members strong as I am writing the script, and over 34 production team members strong on Discord alone, including a few of the dozen plus voice actors, as well as the original Songs of War animators, font animators, composers, moderators, skin designers, and many other people. If you'd like to become involved, join the Discord and submit an application for any of the available roles. Though, do make sure that your submission, whether it be animation or other forms of media, is quality over quantity. The Knights of Ardonia server looks to be in a great place, and I can't wait to see Season 2, Episode 1 hopefully come to light. Thank you all so much for watching this video. This video has taken over a month and a half to write and research, and has been a huge project of mine. If you liked it, then please check out Songs of War and the Knights of Ardonia Discord, both of which are in the description. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you soon.